All right. Hello, Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight, thanks for dressing appropriately for court. Court is calling 2022 CR 8435, State of Texas versus Henry Knight. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Debbie Cruz on behalf of the state, Your Honor.
Defense.
Matthew Allen for Mr. Knight.
Are you Mr. Knight?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all of the discovery and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled Application for Deferred Adjudication or Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Next, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we are proceeding on a lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that with your attorney? Did
Yes,
you
ma'am.
understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial,
Yes, ma'am.
a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand that the court would grant your application for deferred adjudication? If for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Knight, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, according to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. There's a $1,500 fine. There's an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. The state recommends community supervision. I'm sorry, deferred adjudication. They will take in consideration NIMAC number 696-402, 696-403, County Court Cause number 701-018. There's to be restitution, if any, to Marvin Trimble, TRIMBLE. Defense, if there's an issue with restitution, of course, you can ask for a restitution hearing.
Thank you, Judge.
Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that are in filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 200 hours community service restitution, no contact with Marvin Trimble, and anger management class. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the lesser included offense of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
Your Honor, at this time, the state introducing state's exhibit number 1 and all of its attachments.
No objections.
Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. How the court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, just in speaking with Mr. Knight, obviously he's regretful, remorseful for the situation. But he has been determined to make sure that this obviously does not happen again. He understands the ramifications of defer, that he's getting something very beneficial to him as long as he complies with the court's conditions, then he can keep this from becoming a conviction and keep himself from going to prison. But he also understands that if he slips up once in those 10 years on deferred, that he's looking at that maximum punishment of 20 years in prison. So he is determined not to be back here again for any motions to adjudicate, and would ask the court to follow the plea bargain agreement. One thing as far as the fine, I think the state is asking for a $1,500 fine. I don't know if the court would be willing to probate any of it. I believe there will be restitution to Mr. Trimble, the victim in this case. And we'd like for Mr. Knight to focus on making sure that he repays that, but he will follow all of the court's orders, of course.
All right, and are you still with the complainant's ex-wife?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so how's that relationship working? Do they have children together, the ex-wife and the?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
2.
What are their ages? They're 2 years old? Is it twins?
Ma'am?
You-
How many kids do you have?
No, I got one little boy, he's 2 years old.
Oh, okay. That's okay. I was like, they're two. All right, do they live with you?
No, ma'am, I tried, granted me permission to go see him, but the GPS lady said no.
Well, now if I order something, then it's ordered.
One night, and she said, my daughter go to jail. That was the day of my mama's funeral.
Well,
Well, why didn't someone inform me about this? Because if I order that someone can go somewhere, they can go somewhere. All right, are we continuing with the GPS or no?
We are, Your Honor.
All right, what's the reason to continue with GPS?
Just the nature of the offense, Your Honor,
Okay.
and the fact that he reoffended while on bond.
Oh, what's the reoffense?
the TIC cases.
But the cases that we're taking into consideration,
And what are those cases?
tampering with evidence and possession of marijuana, 4 ounces to 5 pounds, and well, that's it. Those are the new offenses.
Okay. All right, when's the last time you did marijuana?
Like a week ago.
All right, is there anything else that's going to be in your system?
No, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court will do. Court's going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. There's a $1,500 fine that's to be probated. Take in consideration NIMAG number 696402, 696403, County Court Cause number 7011018, restitution, if any, and no contact with Marvin Trimble, anger management, proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home healthcare provider or with minors. There's to be GPS for 2 months. If there are no issues, probation, then it can be removed. And I'm going to want him tested for levels. So we'll do regular UAs. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of the COVID vaccination. The court is not requiring you to get the COVID vaccination, but if you do, 40 of those hours will be waived. I'm going to want parenting classes, and we'll do field visits 1 time per month. And probation, if you want to count that field visit as his reporting, you may do so. Probation, is there anything else he needs? Is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
Judge, his son lives in Alabama. If we could just, if he asks for prior approval, but just so that it can reflect that the court would give him permission to visit his son in Alabama.
All right. The defendant will be allowed to travel to Alabama for child custody visitation with proof. Anything else?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Knight, showing you what's entitled trial court certification of, oh, I'm sorry, there's also an affirmative finding of deadly weapon. Mr. Knight, I'm showing you what's entitled trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
No.
All right, good luck to you. You need to work out that relationship.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's get the facts straight. She loves a verbal ashtray. Never blowing smoke when she gets pissed. She's quick to castrate. Love her on a good day, love her on a bad day. Either way, she's here to stay, stay, stay.